Hey, welcome everybody. Good afternoon, or it's not quite noon yet. Happy Friday to everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Michelle, helping you move from mediocre to miraculous one morning at a time. I am so excited to be here with all of you and actually to have all of these amazing women that are joining me today on the program. Welcome to all my Facebook friends. We are coming in Facebook Live right now, so welcome to everybody who's here with me. Just want to say thank you for joining me and ask you right now, if you don't mind, to just click the share button and share out the broadcast. I would love to get some more people live onto the broadcast with us because you guys are going to love what we bring you today in terms of the guests that we have and these phenomenal women and what they're doing in their lives and what they're doing around, really living out their purpose through their business. So you're going to absolutely love today's show. So let me, give you, and by the way, before we go any further, let me just tell you, if you want to connect with me, I know you may be seeing on the screen michellefrazier.com, but actually it's michellefrazier.me, M-E. We had just a little tiny bit of a glitch in the lower, portion of the screen, but I want to make sure you guys know, if you want to connect with me and, learn how to live more in your life, live more with Michelle, then just go to michellefrazier.me, and that'll take you to my website, and you can, sign yourself up there, and I'll be, really excited to be in touch with all of you all. So we are not going to waste any time today because we have got a packed show. So, I want to dive right in here to visit with our first guest. And so, you guys, I am really honored and excited to bring you, to introduce you to one of my good friends, Loren Robin. Let me tell you just a little bit about Loren. She is become, a fast friend of mine. We actually met each other through our, doing some company events together, and I just fell in love with her sweet spirit, her giving nature. She is just wants to make the world a better place by her being in it. And she is mother of two Marine Corps they're Special Ops Marines, twin boys, and she has a very successful business, just returned from Guatemala, and she's incredible. So I want to, not waste too much time and allow you guys to meet Loren. So if you're there, Loren, are you there, honey?
Good morning, Michelle. So awesome to be here. This is like a history in the making for us this morning to do this together.
I know. Well, we kind of laughed when we were getting ready for this and said we could visit with each other all day long. So we're going to try to be brief in this and hit the high points. But you and I have just I felt like we were heart connected. God doesn't make any mistakes when he puts people together, and you and I were put together for a reason. And so I am just excited to have you here and to have you get to share a little more about yourself and your journey and just who you are. So if you don't mind, honey, will you tell people a little bit more about your background, and we'll bring everybody up to speed on Loren.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that I went to your new website yesterday, michellefrazier.me, and it's amazing. And I'm just so proud of all the incredible work that you're doing and all the people's lives that you're touching. You're just an incredible human being, and I'm so blessed to have you as my friend.
Thank you. Well, your motto is succeed through love. So I want people to understand who you are and tell them a little bit about your journey.
Well, it actually really has taken off in the last few years when I made a big decision to change careers when I was turning, kind of approaching that 50-year-old age range. And I was looking at my life and I was like, this is just not feeling good. The real estate market, I was real estate broker in South Florida for over 25 years, 26 years. And I was just looking for a little bit more purpose. And I just didn't know what to do. And I sold a couple of big houses to people that were in direct sales and network marketing. And I was totally enamored by how they showed up for me in their lives and who they were and how philanthropic they were. And so when I was looking for another career, a different path, I looked at the direct sales and network marketing industry, and that was the best decision I ever made, because that has given me an opportunity to really changed my life, to go from selling real estate to really kind of expanding globally in the capacity of the things that I can do and the freedoms that I have. So it's been about 7 years. I started this journey in South Florida while I was selling real estate, and now I'm in Southern California. It's kind of a long way away, but loving what I do, and it's just a perfect testament as people like you and Josephine and some of the other amazing women that we mastermind with are all in our profession. So it's just awesome.
It really is. And, you know, we get to meet the best people. Patty on the chat roll. And I think I maybe even told you about my girlfriend, Patty, who's from Florida. She said, I totally understand the real estate market. So she totally gets that. And, you know, and how difficult that was in the transition that you made to kind of live more in your purpose. And I know one of the things you were able to do is when your boys went into the Marine Corps, you were able to move yourself to you know, all the way across country. So could we put up the picture of Loren with her boys, with the twins? And then I'm going to get you to talk a little bit more. I know you're going to brag on them, which is awesome. Do we have that picture, Rob? See if we can throw that up. Is it not coming up? The picture of Loren with the boys at the event. Oh, that's it. That's the one. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Well, Loren, we are showing our audience the picture, the gorgeous photo of you at the MARSOC event that you put together with your boys, Adam and Alex. So tell everybody a little bit about your twins. Now, fun fact, Alex was just on season 12 of The Bachelorette. But tell us about, you know, how you were able to move to San Diego to be with them, and tell us a little bit about, you know, what you guys did with MARSOC. If you can just shed some light there, it would be awesome.
Well, Michelle, you know this better than anybody, but when we have these crises in our lives, or some of the most challenging times in our lives end up being the most impactful and the best times in our lives. So when the Florida real estate market crashed and the boys joined the Marine Corps, I saw it as an opportunity to change my life. And I was able to earn enough money in my new business that I didn't have to sell real estate anymore if I didn't want to. So I got a one-way ticket to San Diego to hang out with my twins who were based in Camp Pendleton. And it was incredible because it really gave me an opportunity to spend more time with my children. And, you know, even when our kids are adults, you know, we think about, you know, spend time with our kids when they're little, but sometimes we can make up for some of the time we didn't spend with our kids when they're big kids. So it's just been incredible. And the whole journey with Alex and the Bachelorette, that is a conversation we could probably talk about for a long time. But yeah, he was on leave from his last deployment. He had a couple months off, just kind of very impromptu, very kind of accidental. He tripped over an opportunity to get on the show. Mm-hmm. And that was quite an experience.
That was an experience. I remembered when that was going on and just how kind of crazy it was. I want to say hi to there's some friends on here, Stan and Lisa, and they're saying hello to you, Loren, as you're speaking. So hi to everybody that's joining us, and please share out the broadcast now so we can get more people to hear this amazing story. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, kind of going through that process of, you know, because Alex had just been deployed and then kind of came back and had this opportunity to do The Bachelorette. And it was kind of fun to watch from the outside and you know, you going through that. But, you know, that created some other cool opportunities. For instance, what you guys did with the MARSOC Foundation. So could you talk a little bit about that event that you did?
Yeah, that was one of the most favorite times that we've had as a family ever. The boys grew up in Jupiter, Florida, and they actually just got out of the Marine Corps and living in LA right now, but they haven't been back to Florida in 5 years since they enlisted. So I had mentioned that I wanted to bring them home so they could see their friends and family and celebrate the fact that they came home alive in one piece. And and they're thriving and doing well. And so they thought that it would be really cool if we made their homecoming party a fundraiser. And so we thought that was awesome. The MARSAC Foundation is the Marine Special Operation Command Foundation. It's kind of like the Wounded Warrior Program for specifically Marine Special Operation guys. And so in the midst of planning that fundraiser, Alex said, hey, maybe I can get a couple of the dudes, my guys from the Bachelorette, to come and be part of the fundraiser and help us raise money. So we had quite the lineup in that picture. Both my sons, myself, and then Luke Powell and Jared Haben were there. And then the next night we had Robbie Hayes and also Robbie, Luke, Jared, and Alex. And so yeah, it was really fun. We raised a lot of money. And the most impactful part of that whole thing was being able to do a fundraiser with your children. And my boys are so passionate about helping veterans, and that's their passion. And that's you know, where they want to take their purpose and their journey in life and bring awareness just about military and veterans and hopefully make an impact and a difference in the lives of other people. They know how fortunate they are.
I absolutely love that. And I love that, you know, I think that comes from you, them wanting to pay forward and, you know, operating out of purpose. And, you know, that's who you are. And so it's the perfect segue actually into the next part of what I wanted to visit with you about, which is a big part of your life, is your connection with Women United for Change. And so, you know, you recently went to Guatemala. Rob, could we throw up the picture of Loren? And there's a beautiful picture of you with the women in Guatemala that you are helping, and directly how you are helping these women to get into business, to become entrepreneurs. It's incredible what you're doing there. So let me swing over to you and ask you the question: how did Women United for Change come to be, and what's your involvement with that?
Well, Michelle, like, one of the things that we know in our industry and our profession is that we have big networks, and we have friends that have big networks of people and some influence. As you get and become more successful in your business, you get to know more people. And one of the things that I love about us is that we collaborate. Us women, whether, you know, we're competitors, but yet we collaborate. We help each other. We support each other. We share trade secrets with each other. You know, we'll do anything to lift each other up. So myself and two other women got together with this idea that if we could find and attract other women that were leaders that had these big downlines in these big organizations, and we connected for a cause. And it all started with Sonia Stringer handing me a book and Margie a book called Half the Sky. And that book really changed my life, because I could never really understand why it was important to help people in third world countries or developing countries. And I really couldn't. I had this disconnect. And after reading the book, and the book is called Half the Sky, it's by Nicholas Kristof and Sherry Dunn. Josephine will probably correct me on that one. But it's an amazing book. And it changed my whole, it just changed my level of awareness of why it is important, and its level of consciousness to help women, whether they're here in the United States or anywhere around the world. So we created Women United for Change, and we brought together top leaders in direct sales and network marketing, and they brought their teams in, and we had a goal of $100,000 that we wanted to raise, and we're somewhere around $175,000 right now. But what that means, it really means, is that we've impacted over 3,000 women, and putting them in these great programs that teaching the kind of philosophy of, you teach a man to fish, or you feed a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach a man a fish, he'll eat for life. And so we're teaching these women how to read and how to write, and teaching them leadership skills. And and they're learning. And so what we did in Guatemala was we sponsored that region. We went to meet the women that we've impacted, and we went to 6 different villages, from the really, really urban villages to the rural villages that didn't have running water or power. And we got to meet the women that we empowered, and we got to see the where the funds went, and we got to meet the babies of these women, and it was just incredible to see the changes, that $50, really, that $50 could make in a woman's life.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm sorry, I stepped on you just a little bit because I got excited. Because I'm just excited about what you all are doing there. It's incredible. And I absolutely love that, that you guys got to go there and actually be with the women, and, just it was such a demonstration of your love for this project that, I think people would think high-end real estate, and then being in Guatemala, in this third world country, and just kind of getting down with the women and, holding their children. And I just love seeing the pictures. We will bring you back another time. We're actually, we've got Josephine on here who we want to share her story as well. So we will bring you back to talk more about all of your projects. But, Loren, I know that, and by the way, Stan says he was a veteran in Camp Pendleton. Just come, I want to read you some of the comments really quickly. But, Jennifer says women are natural networkers. Obviously, Loren is such a great person and a huge inspiration to so many, says Jason. And, we want to say welcome to Christy. And, Stan says, God bless you, Loren. So you are getting lots of love from our chat roll here. I love you so much, and I thank you so much. We're going to bring you back again so you can talk even more about this. But to connect with you, you guys go to LorenRobin.com. That's LorenRobin.com. That's her website, LorenRobin.com. Or they can connect with you on Facebook. Thank you, my friend. I love you.
Thank you. I love you.
All right, honey. Thanks so much. All right. You guys, we're going to keep rolling here. Thank you so much for all of the comments in the chat roll. You guys, I'd love to ask your questions as they come along. And Patty says it was great to meet Loren. I love all of you all and how you're sharing out the broadcast and helping us spread this message. I promise you, you are not going to be disappointed with our next guest that we have. And Loren alluded to Josephine just a bit. I'm going to kind of shift gears here and grab my notes so that I make sure I introduce Josephine properly. Dr. Josephine Gross, I should say. So Dr. Josephine Gross, her background is she is from Belgium, and she is born in Belgium but actually studied at Stanford. She's a smarty pants. So you guys are going to find that out really quickly, but she just has a heart for the industry of network marketing, and really because it is such a promotion of living your purpose through your business, you can create purpose and prosperity all at the same time. She is the editor-in-chief of Networking Times, which that was founded in 2001 with her husband, Chris Gross. It is the premier publication for network marketing for this whole industry worldwide, very well respected. So I want to bring on with me right now Miss Dr. Josephine Gross. Are you there?
Hi, Michelle. Sure,
hello. I'm so glad to have you on the show. It was kind of funny when I said, hey, I'm doing this little morning thing. And you guys, this is not like closed set or anything like that. This is just us having a conversation. So I said, Josephine, it'll be easy. It'll be like over a cup of coffee. And she's a pro. She's done this many times. So Josephine, if you could tell your, kind of give us your backstory and a little bit of, how you ended up as the editor-in-chief of Networking Times and how you guys founded that publication.
Oh, yes. So that's actually a long story. It happened almost, a little over 18 years ago. I was in between jobs. I was a philosopher. I have my degree in literature and philosophy. I was in between jobs, and a friend of mine knew that, and she sent me a brochure in the mail, a brochure of a network marketing company, something about the product, something about the opportunity. And I was not interested at all in the beginning, like me marketing a product. I'm a writer, I'm a philosopher. But I like this friend, so I looked at it a little bit. And when I looked at some of the stories and the lifestyle, the values of these entrepreneurs, something caught my eye, and that was the following: that this was a business. I discovered this is a different kind of business. It's a business based on collaboration versus competition. And you can only succeed when you help other people succeed. So that really attracted me. It was like more of a feminine energy than the masculine cutthroat business as usual that I was used to. And so I went to a meeting at her house, a luncheon with her upline, and I thought they would try to recruit me and sell me stuff. None of that. The upline, her name was Marion, and she told me about her values and her life purpose and how her business really allowed her to live her purpose. And I was so intrigued that I just joined her team on the spot. Not that I was really knowing anything about business or even planning, but I wanted to hang out with her and learn more about this incredible business model that offers such a powerful platform for people to live their purpose. That's
I absolutely love that. It sounds like you fell in love with, you first fell in love with network marketing and, just the idea of this collaborative approach. So, if you could, Rob, could we just throw up the picture of, we've got, Networking Times. You guys have been in publication for 15 years now. Bob Proctor is your publisher. I absolutely think it's phenomenal what you all have done, and the many, many stories that you've highlighted and spotlighted. And, what you did, Josephine, is you actually wrote an article to lead off the Networking Times, and I'd love for you to talk about this particular issue where you talked about purposeful business, living your purpose. And you actually alluded to the golden circle. So if you could tell us a little bit more about that idea and, why that ties into the stories that you guys spotlight.
Just to link up with what I said before. So to make it clear, I've never built a network marketing business myself, but, the universe has wondrous ways. I found network marketing. I went to my first event, and that's where I met my husband, Chris, who was the CEO of Publishing Inc. And from there, I won't go into details, but I joined his team because, being a writer, I was interested in researching and writing about network marketing. We started working together. We started, the publication then was called the Upline Journal, and then we started together Networking Times 16 years ago. And our tagline for Networking Times is moving the heart of business. Because I wanted that part to be really represented, that for me, it's all about heart connection and how we can use business to connect with each other and make life better for everyone. So that is a very important tagline. So our year-end issue, which is the November-December issue, is we always look a little bit further than our own business. We look at how do we make society and the world better through our business. And so we have covered social entrepreneurship, and this year we chose the theme purpose-driven business, and it was really as a result of the September-October issue, which was dedicated to millennials. So we did a lot of research on what it is that millennials want. Well, their number one priority is they want to make an impact, and preferably a global impact. Now, we all want to do that, but for them, it becomes a priority in changing career. So we said, well, we are going to dedicate an issue. We call them the purpose-driven generation. So here is an issue dedicated to purpose-driven business. And when I started thinking about that, I remembered that very wonderful TED Talk by Simon Sinek.
Yes.
Start with Why. So he has a book, Start with Why. If you haven't seen his TED Talk, it's a must-see. It's only like 17 minutes, but it will change the way you view your business. So the concept of the golden circle comes from Simon. And it's really, Simon says, people buy not what you sell, but why you do what you do. Okay? So when you go about your business, whether it's in prospecting or even thinking about your business or making a business plan, start with why. Why do you do what you do? Because to attract customers, and especially in network marketing, to attract team members and loyal team members, you have to have an emotional connection. I recently went to a marketing event, and they told us the big secret. The big secret is this: people do not care about your product. They care about how you make them feel with your product or your service. So making the emotional connection is paramount. Also, Simon explains in his TED Talk that our decision making is not rational. It's 90% emotional. The part of the brain that makes decisions, it's emotional. So unless you can create a deeper emotional connection with people, you're going to be very, very limited in what you can do. And he gives numerous examples like Apple, how all these big companies are doing so well, are all very mission-based. They first communicate why they do what they do, and only then, when they are connected, when you already feel, oh yeah, that's me, I feel part of them. Only then do you open your wallet and you're going to buy the product.
That is so true. I so agree with that. And I love that TED Talk by Simon Sinek. And I love that you brought the golden circle into the intro to this month's issue of Networking Times. And I know, that, and I think that's so interesting that you said that about millennials, because I know, having a 10th grade son who's looking out into the world, thinking, okay, eventually I may have my own business, something that's important to him is, how can I do good with my business? So, I know that's one of the things you do, Josephine, is kind of globetrot. You go all around the globe looking to spotlight people who are living their purpose through their business. And you do such an amazing job in Networking Times of showing these different stories or telling these stories. You do it in such a beautiful way that really honors them. And by the way, in the chat roll, I love that Patty says collaboration is a key element for success. And I know, that's what you base Networking Times on. And Jennifer says, I love the idea of feminine energy being less cutthroat. And yeah, you're just getting lots of love from the chat roll, Josephine, but I'd love for you, I don't know if we'll have time for all the stories, but I'd love for you to tell at least one or two of the stories. I know we've got the Razan family, so we can put their picture up, Rob, if you don't mind. And Josephine, you could tell us a bit about the Razans?
Oh, absolutely. They're very dear to my heart. I absolutely love my job. Interviewing these big who have built these huge organizations. And of course, they all get in first because they want to make money. They want to change their financial situation, their financial future. But once they've handled that, they see their mission and their business as so much bigger. And the Razan family is an incredible example of that. So they started at the very, very bottom. I don't know if it says on the slide, but when they got started, they had no electricity, no car, and only one family phone. So every morning they had to make a decision. Who was going to take the phone? Because, so the family consists of mom is the upline and the two sons. Okay, so there's three of them building the business. So every morning they had to decide who of the three takes the family phone. And then the boys told us recently they had to decide who was going to wear the shoes because they had only one pair of business shoes. And the third decision they had to decide was who gets the round trip ticket on the bus, because the person who was going to meet with a prospect that was likely to sign up didn't need a round trip ticket. It could go with a one way because they would have the money. So this is just, a little anecdote to explain to you that they really start from the very bottom. But they're extremely determined, huge faith, and went through a lot of the obstacles. Read the story in Networking Times. There's a lot of details, but the obstacles they had to overcome, totally amazing. But today they have such a big team that their company convention in the Philippines fills a stadium with 55,000 people, and they fill a third of that stadium with their group. Wow. And their biggest group is actually in Africa, where they're signing up like 500 members a day. So their team is growing incredibly. So needless to say that, they don't need to keep working so hard and building so much for their own sake, of course, but their mission is now really, really global. And here's what it is. I don't know if you know, but Filipinos have the Philippines has the most expatriate workers of all countries. they actually have a term for it. They're called OFWs, Overseas Filipino Workers. And the mission of the Razon family is to offer the network marketing business opportunity to Filipinos around the world, so that all these expats that are working at much lower positions than they're used to, they're mostly domestic workers, even though in their country they were professionals and teachers. So that they have a chance to actually come home and return to their families and have a business that's portable, so that then when they want to travel, they can actually enjoy their trips. They can do their business from anywhere. They don't have to be away from their family to make money to support, like education for their children, etc. So this is how big the vision is of the Razon family.
And I absolutely love hearing that story. It is so inspirational. I mean, that's kind of, as I said, the tagline of this Mornings with Michelle is from mediocre to miraculous. I mean, I think that's just an example of, gosh, just unbelievable challenges to actually build that business and then to live out a bigger mission, because they feel in their hearts they can offer that same opportunity to other people and to bring them home with their families is, to me, that is such a story of inspiration that, I know everybody that's watching is super inspired by hearing the story about the Razon family. I know Loren, is saying Josephine teaches every day in her work that we can realize our purpose. I love that. And, Patty says, I think she's saying that's what people pick up on in her business, is that she starts with why. We've got some people who are going to go watch that that TED Talk on here.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us, if you don't mind, Dr. Gross, if you want to tell us, I call you Josephine because we're buddies.
Of course.
and I want you to talk about your grandbaby, so let's not forget that. But tell us the story about the family in Tunisia. Let's throw that picture up too, Rob, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's actually the story of an incredible lady. Her name is Lamia. And when we did this interview, it was done when she speaks Arab, she speaks a little bit of English and some French. So it was a combination of English and French over Skype. And she was actually in Thailand when we were doing that interview. She told me the story of how she grew up in Tunisia, which is not a wealthy country. The average annual family income in Tunisia is only $7,000 a year compared to $50,000 in the United States. And there's other economic challenges there. For instance, people don't have credit cards. And also their currency, their local currency, is not convertible in international currency. So Lamia grew up, she had this dream. When her teacher asked her, what do you want to do when you grow up? She said, I want to be a millionaire. And everybody's laughing, of course. But she kept saying that all through growing up, I want to be a millionaire. And even through college, after she finished college, she didn't want to have a job. She wanted to work for herself. And still having that dream of wanting to be wealthy, one day she looked up on Google how to become a millionaire. And she came across a video by Bill Clinton talking about network marketing and how that was a good vehicle to become wealthy. And she had no idea what network marketing was, but from there she started to do her research. And she tells her story in the interview in Networking Times, how all the obstacles she had to overcome to actually get a credit card through a friend in another country, and then load that credit card with enough money so she could buy the starter kit. So she joined a company, but now she was a member of a company, but now all the people around her don't have credit cards. So that was another huge obstacle. She actually at one point says that she got 257 no's in a row. And then she decided he's going and open another door for me. And that's next moment an idea dropped into her mind. Oh, how about going online and using Facebook? So that's what she did. She did her research on Facebook and figured out that the closest people to where she was living, that people that have credit cards and actually have money, were in Dubai, in the Gulf countries. And so she started networking through Facebook with people who, number one, lived in Dubai and had an interest in network marketing. Now that was very difficult also. And being a woman in that culture is shares how it was not easy first she had to hide her identity, so she wouldn't reveal that she was a woman. And then eventually when she got to know the people, when she, revealed her identity, even then it was difficult for them to see her as a leader. And the solution she found was, she said, just think of me as your mother who is teaching you things. And so from then forward, they call her Mother Lamia. So today, Lamia has built a huge income and built a huge organization with a huge income, and she's really able to change things in her country. And her motivation today, her purpose today, is really precisely that. She says Tunisia, the economy was based on tourism. It's a beautiful country with a beautiful coastline. So they were doing okay with when they had tourism, but now since with all the terrorist threats and attacks, tourism completely disappeared. So the economy is at an all-time low, and she wants to really work with authorities and with the government to support network marketing, to make it available for people. I know through her company, they have found solutions so that people can actually join the company without a credit card, so the other way of making the payment. And so her purpose is to really change and raise the economic situation in her country for her people, so that everybody can have a chance at creating a better life for themselves and for future generations. So that's Lamia's mission, and I love how passionate and inspired she is. Again, first she wanted to make money, but now her mission and her purpose is so big that it just attracts a lot of other people who want to do it with her.
I just love that story, and I love how the mission has grown and expanded as her her business has grown, and she's able to live out a bigger purpose. As you said, Tunisia has really been affected, and there's not as much opportunity there in terms of the tourism. And I love that she sees that bigger vision for her life and how she can impact change. And I think that's where people start for one reason and they keep going for maybe a completely different one that's really expanded their, how they feel like they can impact the world through their business. So I just love the stories that you've shared, Dr. Josephine Gross. And we are, like Loren, we could sit here all day and we could tell lots more stories. But I want you very quickly before we say goodbye to each other, tell us about Noelle. She was born just a few weeks ago. So before we move on
election day,
just days ago.
It was election day. It was she's born on November 8th, and she was 7.5 weeks early. And but we already kind of expected her to be early. But the beautiful thing was she came out perfectly strong and healthy. She didn't need help breathing. She just is getting help feeding because she hasn't developed a suckling reflex mechanism. So she's still in the preemie ward being watched very carefully, but she's developing beautifully. And we caught a few little videos, a little sneeze and her hiccup, and you see her suckling, and it's just so amazing to see this new life develop and all the possibilities, and knowing that when you look in her eyes, so she knows things about the future that we don't know yet, because she's born for this time. She is ready.
She is ready. Absolutely. Well, I just loved and she could not have better family and better grandparents than you and Chris, and how amazing you guys are. And so I wish you loads of love and fun this holiday season with your new family member, Noelle. And thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Josephine Gross. Thank you for all your stories, and we will visit again very soon, my friend.
Thank you so much. Much love to you.
Thank you, honey. Much love too. All right, you guys, that was incredibly inspirational. Let me just see if we want to read. It says, Patty says she just kept going and taking different roads about the stories that we heard and these women who are so inspirational. Stan says it's so inspirational. Jennifer saying wonderful interviews. I know you guys are inspired by these stories. Oh, and you know what? Let me do this before. I'm so sorry. We got to talking about Noelle, who is Dr. Gross's brand new grandbaby, that I forgot to tell you that Networking Times is running a special for you guys. So Networking Times, you can, if you subscribe today, you'll receive $600 in free gifts, which is incredible. If you want your team to subscribe, they'll get a free 14-day trial. And you can find Networking Times on Facebook, and it's just Facebook.com/Networking Times, or you can find them at networkingtimes.com. So make sure you guys go. That is, Jason and I have been subscribers, and the stories in there, I don't care if you're in network marketing or not, you're going to be inspired by what you see people do around, you know, just being unstoppable and really realizing I just, you know, there's such amazing stories of people just the dream, you know, living the dream, that dream, struggle, success that I think we all love to see, that they inspire us to become more. So speaking of becoming more, it brings us to our next guest, who is my dear friend Kelly. I'm just grabbing my notes here so I make sure that I introduce Kelly properly. You guys, I'm so excited I've known Kelly Aldous for a couple of years now, and I am actually wearing her necklace. She has a jewelry line called the Gladiator Within. She is a really accomplished woman who has been teacher, trainer, coach, mentor. I mean, she's in business. She's been highly successful, but, you know, I think she's most proud of, and she will tell us in her own words, but I think she's most proud of, you know, really encouraging others to be the very best that they can be, and even move past some really seemingly insurmountable, you know, challenges. So she is all about, you know, finding your gladiator within. And so, you know, without further ado, I would love to bring Kelly onto the broadcast. Kelly, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
I am doing really well, honey. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on with such esteemed guest.
Oh, you know what? You fit right in. I'm telling you, you are such an inspiration and such a, you know, just a classy, beautiful lady who really has just a heart of gold. The first time I met you, I was like, this is somebody I want to stay connected with. So I would love for you to kind of give everybody who's watching a little bit more of your background and tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, thank you. Well, my background is really all over the place. I think the first real job that I had was at the Texas School for the Deaf in Austin, Texas. And I learned so many life lessons there. And I even now thank the kids that were in my dorm and taught me so much. And some of those lessons I've taken with me. It took me 10 years to work and put myself through school. And I finally got my degree in philosophy and psychology from the University of Texas in Austin. And my career's been up and down and really all over the place since then, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. I spent the bulk of my career in communication, training, and facilitation, workshop development, leadership development, and political consulting later on. And then something kind of tapped in me and said, hey, you know, how come you're not doing what you really want to be doing? You know, writing and really, you know, pushing people and pushing yourself a little outside of your very narrow space that you live in most of the time. And so the last few years, I had some big things happen. Everybody does, so I don't think mine is any greater or smaller than anybody else's, but I had some big things that challenged me emotionally in every other way possible. And I decided, I made a decision to plow through it and do what I needed to do to come out the other side stronger, better, and able to help other people do the same thing. So that's where I am right now.
And I absolutely love that idea that you used what, you know, it's kind of like, it sounds trite, but, you know, what was going on in your life as your message, you know, your mess as a message, and you created Gladiator Within, because I think that, you know, your story is of strength. And what I want to do before, and I'm going to ask you a little bit more about Gladiator Within, but with every necklace, and you delivered my beautiful necklace to me and my daughter. I'm so appreciative. And what I loved is you have written a poem in there, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to read a couple of lines because I know our viewers are going to love it. So it says, and this is from and you include a beautiful card with every necklace, and it says, this is your own poem: fearless but not careless, ready although unknown, a fierceness in my belly holds a me I've never known. No taste for mediocrity, no ordinary man. Throw me to the lions and I will take a stand. And I absolutely love that. And I loved, that our whole message here is about mediocre to miraculous, and that you feel that same, you certainly live it in your life, but you also inspire others. So, through doing that, you had, this moment in your life that you decided that you were going to push yourself beyond, to do something that you've never done before. So do you mind telling us about kind of your gladiator moment? And then we'll actually show a little video of you, but I want you to kind of give the audience a little bit of what they're going to see.
Sure. Well, I have a lot of gladiator moments because I seem to have a lot of challenges day in, day out. So you said something earlier, it made me laugh. It made me think, no, the mess is the message. I am the mess, and I just work with it. That's how I feel sometimes. But I've been an avid, I don't know, I worked out regularly for about 9 years, and I've never considered myself, a fitness junkie or anything like that. I really do it to decompress and kind of think about things. And with my background in education and psychology and philosophy, I tell people I can spend a week alone and feel like I've had conversations with 100 people. So I get out on the trail or get in the gym and just kind of think and process things. So I've been doing that for a long time. And I've also, simultaneous with that journey, I've wanted to kind of launch the Gladiator Within for the last couple of years, and I haven't done it. And something clicked earlier this year, and it said to me, well, maybe things aren't happening because you can't get out there and talk to other people about being a gladiator, pulling on the gladiator within, if you're not doing that. And I thought, what's the one thing in my life that I do regularly that I'm not really pushing myself forward in, that might be an opportunity for me to kind of find that gladiator within and pull it out? And it happened to be working out, because it's something I do every single day. So my trainer, Javier Valladares, who is incredible, said to me, hey, why don't you compete? And I've had other trainers tell me that, and I've always blown it off. But something in me, the timing was right, everything was right. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So that's what the setup was in June. And,
yeah, and so this is, I'm gonna cue up this clip, and we're gonna have Rob run it. But this is actually how I connected with you again. Was I saw this live video that you did on Facebook, and I think it was maybe last week even. It's been recent, that you were coming to us from the Natural Olympus competition, and in Las Vegas, which is a worldwide competition. I thought, that is crazy. But I saw this, crazy in a good way, like amazing. And I saw this video. And so we're going to run this really quickly, Kelly. Then we'll come back and have you talk a little bit more about it. But this is you in Las Vegas. Do you have that clip,
Kelly's
Rob?
big adventure has begun. Thank goodness for early check-in here in Las Vegas, because it's only 8:30 in the morning and I'm exhausted. But I'm in my room, and as I walked through the lobby and saw people with incredible bodies walking around, I know they're going to be competing, I thought, Kelly, what were you thinking? But here's what I was thinking. With my Gladiator Within movement, I push people to find the best in themselves and the best in other people, and go beyond self-limiting beliefs, things that they thought they could never do. And I thought it was time that I ponied up myself and kind of found something that would be really an extension of whatever I thought I could do. So here I am. And amazing girls at the gym, Laura, Kat, and Suzanne, who are fierce competitors and push me. And also an amazing husband who is very, very supportive of my endeavors, no matter what they are. And so I figure if I can get out of here without embarrassing my husband, my trainer, or my children, that I will have succeeded. And if nothing else, I got a great bathing suit. So I'll keep y'all updated as things go along. And yeah, what was I thinking?
I absolutely love that clip, because I was thinking how just genuine and real. And, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'd probably be saying the same thing. What was I thinking?
I'm so wondering, Michelle.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think it's so inspiring. And I love that you just were very authentic and genuine in kind of, I'm looking around going, oh my gosh, but just pushing yourself. I remembered when I auditioned for Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, that same kind of feeling, but I was much younger. And, I wasn't getting into the blue and white suit in my 50s. So that's what I think is just awesome. So tell us about that experience for you.
Oh my goodness, where do you want me to start?
Well, whatever you want to share. I know we're going to throw a picture up of you in your suit here in a moment, but just tell us how it was for you.
Well, first of all, I want to give a thank you to my husband. My husband supports me, maybe sometimes rolls his eyes, but supports me in my crazy endeavors. And they're really all over the place. And again, I want to thank my trainer as well, Javier. But I'll tell you, I started with my suit, believe it or not, because I've never done anything like this before. And I thought I need to start thinking about what the reality of this is going to be. And for some reason, the bathing suit was the safest place for me to start. And I thought, well, I'll bead my own suit and I'll change my connectors and do all of that myself. And at least I can blind them with my bling and, do anything else. And so I did that. And slowly it all kind of started getting real. I'd walk around the house in my bathing suit and my, 5-inch stilettos. And I thought, oh, what am I doing? But I had already committed and I was, plugging through. But there's my husband right there. I want everybody to see. Hi, Steve. He's amazing. So anyway, that was kind of the beginning of it. But, here's one thing I've learned in my life. Nothing is, we never meet people for the reason we think we meet them. We never have experiences for the reason we think we're having them. That's the surface answer. Hey, Kelly, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go compete in bodybuilding. But you have to kind of dig 3 levels down to find really what it's all about. And what it was about for me actually ended up being gladiator moments, and 2 specific ones. One had to do with my shoe and the other had to do with breathing.
Yeah, I'd love for you to share those, Kelly.
Sure. One thing a lot of people don't know about me, and I don't even think I've admitted it about myself until earlier this year when I got on allergy shots, was that I have severe asthma. Every day I take Singulair and Dulera. I have a rescue inhaler that I've had to rely on for the last couple months daily. I'm on Allegra D, fluticasone. And this last week since I've gotten back, I've had a nebulizer treatment, a steroid shot. I'm on prednisone and antibiotics. So it's something that I deal with every single day. In fact, one of the it's odd, but I don't even usually plan meetings before 11 o'clock in the morning because it takes me a while just to get my breathing under control. And so the fitness challenge for me has never been and will never be about looking good. It is about conquering some big stuff in my life. And again, I look at even having asthma as an inconvenience more than an illness, but it's a chronic situation that I deal with every single day.
I think it's just, you told me the story when we first started chatting about, you sharing on the broadcast. And I just think it's so, it's such a demonstration of just being completely unstoppable. And no one would know that, as you said, about you. And it is that gladiator within. You're like, I'm going to read my necklace right now because I feel compelled. It says, let's see, I am, I can, I will, and I did. And that certainly is your mantra. And I just believed it so much more, or I knew that about you, but it was even, more real to me when you told me the story about the asthma. And I'd love for you to share and by the way, we're getting comments rolling in because people are just floored. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. So proud of you, Kelly. Christy says, I'm on your Facebook page. Love the inspirational quotes. Go for it. This inspires me to go for it. You're such an inspiration to so many people, Kelly. And, I'd love quickly for you to share your story about the shoe because I could relate to this. This is just. that being on stage and kind of holding it together. Go ahead.
Well, I wrote a blog about it, and it's actually on my website and on my Facebook page, but I want to point everybody to my website since this is the launch today. But this story is one of those things you sit and go, there is no way this is happening right now. No way. And it was. So, all right. So what happens when you get out on stage is that you have to have these stilettos. And it's kind of direct gear. Everybody wears them. And I guess you can wear something else, but I've never done anything like this before. I have never done anything like this. So I had my acrylic 5-inch, stiletto stripper shoes. And I had probably practiced my walk, 50, 100 times. I mean, and at home even more. I mean, nothing happened with the shoes. It was no big deal. And when you get out on stage, you have 5 poses that you do in a T-walk. And the first one is kind of a quiet meet and greet. You just do a quick pose and everybody's, kind of staring at, just kind of like, hey, I'm here. And then you go to the front of the stage and the judges are sitting there and you're close to the stage and you do your first pose, which is kind of a big ta-da pose. And as I was preparing for the pose, I looked down and I felt something under my foot. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's a piece of trash on the stage, napkin or towel or something like that. And then I realized it was the platform of my shoe. And when I tell you that, it's not like the heel just broke. The platform of my entire shoe came off my foot. And I was looking down while this was happening. And this is my gladiator moment. I thought to myself, you have a choice. Because if you walk off the stage, no one will blame you. In fact, somebody will help you because you're going to break your leg. I mean, no one will blame you. Or you can stand here and you can finish this. And I chose to finish.
And I absolutely love that moment. When we had this conversation, you said to me, what would you have done had your, in the middle of a performance, your shoe just breaks? And, and I said, and you're right. Everybody would have just said, hey, you know what, let's time out, da, da, da. And it was funny because you said nobody even knew, which is incredible.
Yeah. My trainer, my trainer was sitting in the audience, about 3 rows back. And my husband was there, and my trainer didn't know that it happened. My husband didn't know that it happened. The judges didn't know that it happened. The only people that knew what was really going on were my competitors standing in backstage and the coordinator who actually ran out on stage and picked it up and went back. And people just thought there was something on the stage that was already there. And after, I had to stand up there. I know it sounds simple, Kelly, just walk and, but I had to compensate for a 5-inch differential on my feet and pose and flex. And because I was the first person out there, I had to stand up there while all of my other competitors did their T-walks and then the comparison and all this other stuff. And I honestly, if you could hear the laughter inside me, it was loud. I had a smile on my face and I was just so proud of myself for it. The best moment of it was when I got backstage. Every one of those girls gave me a hug or high-fived me and was telling me that I was a champion.
Fabulous. The story is so good. And, we're getting all kinds of, people want to get the necklace. They want to know where they can go. They're inspired by your story. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Love how her husband supports her. Gonna get the necklace. Love your warrior heart, Kelly. So please, before we say goodbye to you, Kelly, please can you tell us how to get the Gladiator Within? I know your gorgeous website launched, and we've got a picture of Lacey actually wearing the Gladiator necklace. Lacey's our good friend who was Mrs. Texas 2012, and she's got your Gladiator necklace on. So I know she's on here on the broadcast, so she'll enjoy seeing her gorgeous face with that. But could you tell us how we get on? And I know you've got a special coupon code, I think.
I do. My website is just launching now. It's called thegladiatorwithin.com. It's really meant to be an inspirational site to discover and celebrate the gladiator within everyone. My fundamental belief in life is that we are all given talents and skills, God-given, human, refined, that we are to use to help each other through the human condition. And that is the premise for the entire website. I have a gladiator necklace on there. One side says, I am, I can, I will, I did. The other is nothing shatters me. I've never done this before. I'm offering it for the first 25 people can get it for $20, the copper version, and you get a custom jewelry bag with it. And you also get my Gladiator creed, and I will sign my creed for you. And the coupon code is, to align with the show, is It's a Miracle 2016. If you have any trouble using it, just send me an email. I will honor it. The first 25 people will be able to receive it. And I'm so excited that you've had me on. And I hope people find my site and my daily stories, which will be on my blog, an inspiration to go out and help other people.
I have no doubt, Kelly, they are going to find all of everything that you're doing so inspirational. And I love that, you know, God-given, human refined, your gifts and how you can serve the world. And that's how you operate in the world. I think it's so beautiful. And today has been all about purpose in business. And you certainly are demonstrating and living out your purpose. So thank you, Miss Kelly, for being on today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, I want to thank everybody. You know, before we close here, I would like to share very quickly just a quick video, because that's what I do, is I live my purpose through my business. And that's what this has been all about, is purpose and prosperity living together. So, you know, what I do is, you know, as a result of my business, children get fed who desperately need it. So if we could, you know, I took my family to deliver this Hope cereal in Mexico. So I'd love to kind of share a little bit of what I'm passionate about through my business through a quick video, and then we'll close the show. So Rob, could you run that really quickly? Well, hi guys. Thank you so much for being on today, and thank you for spending some time with me this morning. You have been on Mornings with Michelle, moving your life from mediocre to miraculous, one morning at a time. I want to say thank you to all my guests, to Loren Robin, the amazing Loren Robin. You can find her on lorenrobin.com. To Dr. Josephine Gross, find her at networkingtimes.com, and find him on Facebook. And then the amazing Kelly Aldous. You can go and get your Gladiator Within necklace today at the Gladiator Within. And, you know, I want to send you guys to my website, michellefrazier.me, Fraser is how you spell my last name, .me. And I'd love for you guys to subscribe there and join the party. And I will send you my top 5 strategies on living more with Michelle. So you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, commenting. Here is my love for all of you all, my hearts and love. And thank you so much for sharing on the broadcast today and being very active in the chat roll. I wish I could have read all of them, but lots of likes and loves and hearts for you guys. And I will see you back here next Friday. And you guys, mediocre to miraculous, one day at a time. We're all doing it together. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.